it's Jen from Day by Day Clay and Crochet, and I am back during Christmas break for some of you. I am back and working on some new canes. The past couple of days I wanted to try and do a couple of canes, or really just one cane that was a black lab cane. Some of you have seen me do posts about it, and this is like the end of one of the canes, like the scrap. You can kind of see what's going on there. Here's a chunk of it. And I did not do a video of this because, quite honestly, I needed to be able to think without the stress of also talking, and I knew it might take a while. It did. It took a couple of days to get to that point. And yeah, mostly I've not made that kind of cane before, and doing a video can make me rush things and not think through the process as much as what I would normally like to be able to do. So anyways, in addition to that, I'm making a couple of other canes these couple of days. We're coming across the beginning of the month. Again, I've got bills due, so I'm going to be throwing a couple of new hook styles out at you to do pre-orders on. And just remember that, you know, when I make hooks, it can take 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes a little bit longer, depending if something crazy was going on in my life. Like my past couple of months have just been doctor visits, like crazy. And I've basically had to tell them, okay, y'all need to like cool it on all of these visits, appointments, because it's too much. The bills, and I'm fine. They are trying to get to the bottom of some things, but I'm still okay. I don't have anything that is life-threatening. I have things that are more than anything just inconveniences, sometimes pain or whatever, but you know, it is what it is. And I just got to keep on trekking. So anyways, I am getting caught up on orders. I made a lot of orders the other day, just waiting on Harry to sand them. So yeah, today is new cane day. I'm making I don't know, couple of 2 or 3 new canes today, 2 of which will be pretty quick and easy. I don't expect this one to take very long either. This one is going to be another one of Meg's, and I'm talking of Meg from Polymer Clay Shed. Is that right? Polymer Clay Shed, I think so. There's her name and the name of another crochet hook maker who's very good. She makes some outstanding hooks, and I've been a big fan of hers. But Meg has made, and she has her own Patreon and all of that. She's so good at making tutorials, and I just needed another cane that was kind of like quick and easy. And Meg makes canes that are accessible to people who haven't had as much experience. So I can pull them together pretty quick. And as a matter of fact, I watched the video, and by and large, I will be following what she did. maybe with a couple tweaks of my own. Like I am making a bigger cane. She makes these itty bitty little teeny tiny canes, and I can't get my fingers in there to work that small, which I'm always just incredibly impressed with how small like her little canes turn out to be compared to mine. I have to work in larger quantities. But anyways, I'm making a Meg cane today, and which is the same as the, if you know, I will be making the owl hooks here in not too long. Those will be going out. So the owl and the snowflake, the pink snowflake canes or hooks. So these hooks, these were meant for me to make in January and send out during January. They weren't necessarily supposed to be a holiday cane, and I feel bad that I have not been able to get my holiday stuff with Christmas, my Santa and Rudolph and all of that out yet, but they're coming. They're coming here real soon. But holidays got surprisingly busy, and you know, it just happens so quick, everything back to back, and so I try to work all day long. I actually will cut this in half. Work all day at the clay table, and then some of you, if you're like personal friends of mine and you saw on my personal account that I've been posting some journaling, junk journaling, making fodder and painting and such. And really, I do that. And I know there might be people that think, oh, you should be working on orders. Well, orders is work for me. And as much as I love my work, because I really do, I still need an outlet to be able to take a break and, you know, have that, still keep that love for being creative and making things, and to be inspired so that I don't burn out. So what I made here was I made like a bullseye cane, and I used a couple of different colors than her. On this, she used white to raw umber or raw sienna. I can't remember what she had, but I think I'm out of the darker color she used. So I'm using something different. I am using tan instead of white to burnt umber, I think was what I used. Oh, that's not it. Burnt umber, yeah. And I made a bullseye cane, which you can find those on YouTube. It's not too hard to learn to make a Skinner blend, and once you do, then you put it through the machine, but and then just roll it up from light to dark. So I made that, and then I cut it into 8 pieces, like a nice large pizza. So I have these 8 pizza slices, 8 little cane slices, and if you do this, they will probably turn out all different sizes, because it is hard to cut clay like that and make them perfectly equal, because as your blade goes down, it might bend a little bit or the clay becomes weird. It's just that way. Now I'm going to take these pieces and I'm gonna put them with the pointy tip towards each other, but I'm not going to put them so that they are right up against each other. I am going to make it so that the dark color, that burnt umber, is sticking out. So from one piece to the next, when I go back this way, that burnt umber is going to touch, okay? My stomach is making all kinds of wild noises. You might be able to hear it. I just had some yogurt, so that's, I guess it's just happy I had yogurt. You can see this one is a really small one. It got a little wonky there when it was cut. That's fine. That's, in fact, it's kind of good that it does that. So we're just stacking these. And they don't even have to go in perfectly. Like, you don't have to stress about these all being in an exact line, because we're making hair. And it will, if it's perfectly in line, then it's just kind of goofy and not natural looking. So if you can get those odd shape one, or if you do get those odd shape ones, and if they're not in perfect alignment, that's perfect. That's perfect. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to reduce it a little bit. Now, this is essentially what Meg does. I don't have the video of her up right now to know the exact number of steps or number of times she does something. So I know what she did. I know how she did it. And I'm kind of doing my own thing on what she did, if that makes sense. Now, if you're someone who doesn't have quite as much experience with making canes, just follow the way she does things. I can deviate a little bit just because I have, what do I have, 13 years of experience? Like, I've made a lot of canes, and there's just things that work better for me just because it's the way I do them. And so, like, I'm better at my own ways. And if she tried to do some of my things, she would be better at her way. You know, it's just the way it is. But this is basically her thing. So I've pulled that out, I've reduced it, and I've cut it in two. And you're gonna have those zigzag marks. And because we did not put everything in there evenly, and because things were different sizes, which is good, it is good. Your different triangles, when you cut into that, it's going to look a little bit differently, and your dark should all be your dark sides should all be connected, while the light sides are still disconnected like that. And you'll see why that is. Okay, so I'm going to put these beside each other like two Twix candy bars. I think they actually look a little bit like whatchamacallits, but... And I'm gonna squeeze this together. And you can kind of see the lines in here. And I'm gonna reduce where those lines are, like in the direction those lines are going. Sometimes it can be real easy to get turned around, like, which way am I supposed to reduce? Like, it can be. So I'm going to reduce that. gently squeeze and reduce. So it's, what is it? So Christmas was on Wednesday, 25, 20, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the 6th day of Christmas. Did you know that? The 12 days of Christmas actually start on Christmas. So it's the 6th day of Christmas. And let me tell you, these days of Christmas, whew. Last week we had my brother and sister-in-law, Matt and Lilia, were here with their baby. And, you know, we can't have kids. And we don't have parents anymore. So I've kind of taken on the role of grandma, sort of. And this is the only niece or nephew of mine on my side that has been close. My other two, niece and nephew, they live in Nebraska. So I didn't get to be as active in their lives because I only saw them for like a couple hours a year. Just a couple of hours at Christmas time and a couple of hours in the summer. Because when they would come to visit, you know, Ben would, my brother, he's from Indiana, he would have to come into Indiana, split his time up, and then my sister-in-law Betty is from Michigan. And so they'd then have to drive up to Michigan and then drive back out to Nebraska. And it was just such a tough thing for them to be able to drive that many hours and then to get decent amount of time spent with anybody. So it's been harder, which was one of the reasons why we ended up getting a camper. It has put along with the hospital visits and such, a struggle on us a little bit financially. But we found it to be important that we can get out there and we can visit them more. Yeah, especially since I don't have parents and so my niece and nephew don't have grandparents. Anywho, so yeah, last week I got to see them, got to see my niece, Elena, who is about 5 months old, going on 6 months old. She'll be 6 months here soon. And yeah, busy week last week. But it was good. All right, so now you're gonna have this, all right? And now I am going to cut, and she makes, like I said, little teeny tiny canes. Her canes end up being like this size in total. And I can't get in there and do that little bitty work right like that. And so I go bigger. So this is where the proportions of what I do will be different than the proportions of what she does. All right, so I am going to even this out a little bit so it is more or less the same all the way down. The ends always end up having some sort of wonky bit to them. And it's not wasted clay because I can blend all these little scraps of these little colors all together and just get a different color of brown that I can use for something else. Not a big deal. So now I'm going to cut this off. Let's see. And And I am going to cut it into 3 pieces, probably more like this. 1, 2, 3. Set this aside. And these 3 pieces I'm going to put like this. And I'm going to squish these a little bit together like I did before. And I'm going to smooth these out, these lines. Here we go. And we're going to pull these in. We're going to round them up here just a little bit. And she does this little trick. She'll cut off a little V shape out of here. So I will follow what she does. And then a little V shape out of this side. And what she does is then she pulls those together and pinches them. It's not 100% necessary by any means, but it just kind of makes it look kind of finished off here on the side. I really do feel like I'm working with chocolate. This feels very chocolatey, and I'm now kind of hankering for a Snickers. Okay, and I'm going to do the same over here. I'm actually, a little secret, I'm sitting here in my pajamas working because I don't go out much, and today's my especially long day of work since Harry's gone from like 5 in the morning until 8 at night. And you know, I'm not going anywhere. I don't even think I'm going to the mailbox. So it's pajama day at work. Okay, so this is going to be the top of the head. And if you weren't able to tell from the, if you didn't see the title of the video, I'm making a teddy bear. So this is going to be the top of the teddy bear's head. Next, what we do is we get a little bit of black. And by little, I mean really little bit of black. You know what? I'll just use this. This has a little bit of silver in it, but this will totally be fine. So I'm just going to use a little bit of this. I'm going to roll it into a snake. Something else is my office here is an absolute nightmare with everything that's been going on. All the orders, all the canes, the bits and pieces, and clay everywhere. And then over there I've got shipping stuff and my watercolor stuff. And it's making me a little itchy because I like things tidy, but sometimes you just get into a busy season of your life and things just kind of go one after another, and by the time you do get a little bit of free time, you're just tired. So it will get cleaned. Just maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we have like this little snake. I might have gone a little bit small with that snake. And now I am going to poke a hole. I might use one of these. Hey, that might work perfectly. So I have this little pin, and you know, really the holes that would be great to poke would be right where these lines are, right? As to where the eyeballs should go. And really, I probably should have smoothed that out more. Whenever you have bumps or lines in your canes like that, like the little divots there, you got to get those as smooth as possible, or else that will show up in your final cane. And there's a lot of people that are like, well, I don't understand why this is bumpy. Why is this not smooth? Well, you've got... Now, this might not be so bad because it's a teddy bear, you know, they're fluffy and not perfectly smooth to begin with. So that's why I'm not working too hard on it. It's fine. But anyway, okay. So I'm going to poke a hole right there, and I'm going to try and go most of the way through. And it even looks like my pin had not gone completely straight, which is typical. That's kind of go like that, just to mark where your eyeball is going to go. And it's going to go there-ish. And the other one is going to go about there-ish. And turn it over and get it there-ish. And if it's in about the same place on both sides, you will find the hole from the other side and be able to match it up. But it's funny how hard it is to get it to go straight down. Okay. So now what we're going to do is going to be very, it's just going to seem weird compared to what we just did. But now we're going to slice a hole, or make a slice following that hole. I'm going to kind of keep an eye on it from both sides. And that will open that hole up so that you can stick the black eye in there. And like I said, I think I might use a bigger portion of this. Now, opening that up like that does, well, making it first helps keep that eyeball round. So that's important, because if you just put that in there and slam it shut, then your eyeball will turn flat. And now we're going to make the cut here to open up that hole that we punched. And we're going to slide that in there. So now we got these little eyeballs in there. Cute. Now I have to think about what she did for the nose, and I feel pretty confident she just used the black for the nose. Did she use the black for the nose? I'm just trying to remember here. So we'll just keep with this. It's got a little bit of shimmer, sort of like a metallic. Yeah. And I'm gonna take some of this tan. I might have to get some more out. Looks like I am. Or you know what? I can mix it here with some of this. I'm gonna put it through my machine real quick. Hold on. Okay. I think a hair got in there. There it is. So now we're going to make the muzzle of the bear's nose. So I'm going to wrap this once and then bring it together. Now, I am going to put another layer on. The problem is that if I just kept on rolling, you'll have a part of it that is thicker than all the rest. So I cut it off, do that, and then I go again, so that there's not an unevenness in it. And then do that. Now I'm going to make a slice here, and I'm going to do it right down this line so that I know I'm going I'm going straight. Because as you roll canes, they can twist. And I'm going to open that up. I'm going to open that up. And I'm going to put this through here on a nice thin setting. And I am going to, how wide is this? Cut here, cut here. Am I still in the, have to make sure I'm going to kind of mark. I'm just going to slide that in there. Okay. Oh, I don't know if I got it all the way in there in the middle. This clay is a little bit sticky. Some clay is just hard as rocks, and then you got some, yeah, I don't think I got that all the way in there. Oh, I didn't. It's a good thing I checked. Oh, get in there. Come on. But this clay is sticky, so it's kind of fighting me. It wants to stay put instead of move around. Well, I guess you're just going to be like that. You are set in place, aren't you? Fine. Fine. I'm going to take off some of this extra. Still have my black showing here. And now I am going to go around this just a little bit. A bit like that. And I'm going to evenly cut this. There we go. This is wanting to split along the line of what were those two different pieces of cane. It might try to do that. It's okay. You can kind of finagle it back. Finagle is a word my mom used to say. Kind of adjust it so that it all just comes together. gently pull it around. It'll move, it'll spread. And even still, my eyes got smushed a little bit. I think it's because this clay is, this brown clay is, it's solid. It's not real super soft. The super soft was this stuff here in the middle. And that's also the reason why it's having a little bit harder time coming together. So it's kind of smushed my eyeballs into a little bit more of a slit than keeping a circle, and that's okay. That's fine. It's just a small detail. Then there's this side. I haven't sliced into this side yet. Yeah, it looks about the same. I've got a tray of little end pieces over here that I'm just going to bake as end pieces. Okay, so what I need to do now is I need to make this into some more of this. So I can make it for the body, I can make it for the ears, the arms, and the feet. I'll probably end up having to make another one of these blends. It doesn't take long, it's not hard to do, so it's not too big of a deal, especially if your clay is blending well and fairly conditioned. So all right. These pieces are definitely not the same size. This one's gigantic. But it looks like I didn't even... I didn't go all the way through. Well, no wonder. But you can see with this bear that having those like little stripes like that make the fur, like, it's better if they're not completely even. It makes it look a little more natural. Okay, we're back to this again. Trim off the ends. Do I want to cut this in threes? I feel like I should. All right. We're actually going to pull up these corners. And we're going to pull up these ends. Because what we're doing is we're making the belly. Maybe don't pull up on these ends all the way. Just kind of something for the head to, right there. Now, I don't know that I actually saw this part of the video. I think I got distracted by the dog, so I'm not sure what she did here. But this is what I'm doing. So this is just what I feel like makes sense. Yes, I didn't realize I had missed part of the video. It's kind of funny. I like it. But I do know for sure I will have to make some more blend. And that's fine. So pinch these up like this. Make sure that's nice and smooth. Okay, pull these out to stick that head in there. Now, kind of feel like I need to put a little layer of yep, fur right down there. Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward through this, and so I can make another blend. And through the magic of digital stuff, yeah, here it is. Okay, we're going to freeze for a hot second because when I turned my video back on, I didn't realize my phone had gone back to the sideways view, and I am so sorry. You can turn the picture sideways or whatever, but I can't correct that, and I apologize for that. All right, here we are with some more Skinner blend. Let's cut these into eighths. Not worrying about how beautiful and even they are. It's just not a thing that is like even matters. And we're gonna stack them. Think how little that one is compared to the others. And that's okay. That just allows for like the hair to look real. There we go. Now, some of this is, I think I'm gonna put down along the chin area. Okay. Now I'm going to cut this in half like I did before. Oh, I should have done that in thirds. Nope, that's fine. Squish this together some more. Let's see what we got. Now, obviously, he's not going to have a chin this big, so I do need to reduce it some more. I might cut this into 3s and then reduce it, since it's just a small. Stack these up beside each other again. And reduce again. Now, on one side of this, I'm going to reduce it a little bit more and leave this, because the chin, I don't need much for it. Probably just cut it there. Because the chin doesn't need much. See that? Make sure it's lined up on both sides. It's funny because the chin looks a little bit lighter than the rest, even though I use the same 2 colors to make the blend. I'm not worried about it though. It's fine. But I am going to smooth this out. Now I'm going to trim a little piece off, see how it looks, because what's on the end is not always what it looks like on the inside. Go! It didn't want to slice. So it mushed my bear. Goodness gracious, slice. All you want to do is just mush. Okay, you gotta double check both sides because canes like to twist. Okay, not terrible. Not terrible at all. Put these slices over there. Okay. Time to make some ears and arms. And feet. I'm really stretching this out. You'll see why here in a second. I can tell I've been making canes a lot the past couple of days. My shoulder. Oof. Okay. I'm going to cut these into threes. That's like what Meg did. So I've been cutting like at 5 centimeters here for most of these things. And I'm going to put these all in a line beside each other. them together. I'm going to take this color, and because I need more than that, I'm going to add that color to it. And I'm going to blend these together here real quick. It's got a little bit of darker brown on it from doing these. That's fine. That's not going to hurt anything. Roll it up. I'm the messy caner for a reason. So I've kind of gotten this into an oval shape. And these browns, again, they are just struggling to like stick together because that's the way this particular clay is trying to be right now. It's just on the struggle bus. So you just gotta, it's a stiffer clay right now. It's the same brand, might be a little bit older. But actually clayers like stiffer clays because it like holds its place better. Like for me, whatever. I don't like it super soft and I don't like it super stiff. Okay, I'm gonna cut this side off and this side off. They certainly don't need to be that big. So we can pull and reduce this a bit. So what we have made are bare feet. See that? That one might be better on that side. Maybe that's the left foot. So let's get this cut in half. So there's his feet. That foot's a little big. I didn't reduce entirely down to the end, so we'll just do that now. I'm gonna make one side a little smaller for the heel. So there's the fate. All right, And I believe with this we can make the ears. But I'm gonna need some more of that cream color. And now I am out. I have a little bit here. Pull that out of there. I have a little bit here, but this isn't going to be enough, so I'm gonna have to make some, or just pull out some tan, add a little bit of white to it. I'm telling you, even though I have mashed and blended and done all that, these 3 pieces are still trying to pull apart at their seams. And that's the way they want. Well, you know what? I might not need that much. Let's see here. What do I have around here that's open? That might be enough. Look at me working in small amounts. So when my brother and sister-in-law came, they not only brought their baby, they brought their basset hound, Maisie, who likes to make her appearances. All the cousin dogs love each other, and they play wildly. So our 2 girls get worn out by Maisie, and our 2 girls wear out Maisie. And it takes a couple of days for everybody around here to recover. Don't know if you've ever had a situation like that where a relative comes to visit and they also bring their dog, and they just all wear each other out. Okay, so I am trying to get this hairy part of the ear to wrap around the center of the ear without splitting apart too much. Hey, not too bad. Make sure this is pretty smooth on the inside. Because again, where you have a gap, that clay will go to fill in. So I'm oh, look at that. Perfect little ears. Okay. Now I will double check the placement on that in just a little bit, because you want to make sure, like, oh, I'll just check it now. You want to make sure, because Cane's twist, that you want to get it right on both sides. Okay, for the arms, I have to do this again. See, when Meg does this, she only has to make one of these because her cane is like a third the size of mine. I don't, oh, my fingers don't work that way. I have small hands, but my fingers don't work that way. All right. Look at this tiny piece. So, it's something that I have started to help kind of spark my creativity, kind of revive that artist in me. I mean, y'all know, if you are a clayer or if you are a crocheter or you work in the arts of any kind, you need something to give you a boost every once in a while. And I am there. I've started junk journaling and all of that as sort of like my therapy at night, something that I don't have to think about too hard. And so a friend of mine and we have started making journals. And yeah, started making journals and such. And not only that, but I've started something online called Fodder School. Apparently I have to take 4 years of it to get caught up. But it's just a way for me to explore all the different things I love, which is anything art, really. Like, I like to work with my hands. Duh. I have to keep busy. I have to keep my hands busy. I have to be doing things. And so anything creative is just my game. And mixing fodder with junk journaling and art journaling and things like that is something that my creative part of my soul is just craving, and I've been loving it. But yeah, look it up. Look up what Fodder School is. It's so neat. Acrylic paints, watercolor paints, markers, pens, all kinds of things. I mean, you can even look up videos on YouTube and you'll see stuff about fodder, F-O-D-D-E-R, Fodder School, what people are learning from it. It just is neat. Super cool. All right, so I've got this, and we're going to cut it in half. Should I do thirds again? Thirds make it so that the hair is a little more wispy, like fine. But you know, I just think I'm going to do halves. So you can kind of see with the feet down along here, the hairs are a little more fine and closer together, whereas the ones on the belly and around the head are not. The more times you cut this and stick these beside each other and smush them together, the more hairs you're going to get. That's the secret. This is not a technique created by Meg. This is a technique I have used with the circle and then the triangles and the pizza, and then this was what a lot of people use to make flower petals. So it's been around for a long time. And so now, sort of like the belly, I'm going to kind of bring these sections on the end around. And again, I don't know that she did this. There's parts of this video I did not watch super close, just because I kind of knew what I was doing to get the effect I needed. But it should probably be close to this. It is warm in here. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, because I'm just going to put arms kind of along here. Kind of turn them into an oval shape. You can kind of see how this cane is trying to twist. So I'm pinching one, like the top edge. So sort of like into a teardrop shape. Now, I am going to have to put a line between here. I'll probably just use like a super dark brown. I need to put a line between some of these areas, or else the arm is just going to look like an extension of the belly when you go to reduce. So this is not different clay than this. You see the line there now, that line is going to disappear. Okay. So, like a dark, I'll have to get some more of that burnt umber, and I'm going to have to put in some light. Actually, what I should do is just kind of put a line. I mean, it wouldn't be bad for me to put like a little line around the whole thing. So around the belly down there, and then even around the top, and then around the outside, because that's just the way I am. I like to outline things. Okay, so I'm going to make the other arm here. This arm isn't nearly as big as that arm. That's weird. Well, okay. Let's see what we can do with this. Still have some of this cane left over. It's fine. Just weird. It can be hard to get proportions. Something can look the same size and you go to put them beside each other and suddenly they are not the same. Let's do this. Yeah, those appear to be about the same. And then you do that and they are not the same. Wild, isn't it? All right, I think we have a bear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some brown there, and some little corners of dark brown there. And then I'm going to wrap it in translucent, white translucent Primo clay. And we'll show you the end result here at the end.